the Celebrity Jobber Podcast with Jeff Zito. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, give a 5-star rating, and leave a review. Check out all our past episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. What if these celebrities weren't famous? What would they have become? What was their first job? We're about to find out.
Well, our next guest was an actor, and he has a ton of credits. The $6 Million Man, The Hardy Boys, Battlestar Galactica, The Rockford Files. But my mother and a lot of other ladies know him as Dr. Noah Drake on the soap opera General Hospital. But we don't know Rick Springfield, the actor, as much as we know Rick Springfield, the musician, the rock star. His song Jesse's Girl off the album Working Class Dog hit number 1 in 1981. And that's when women started throwing their underpants at him. Having a little trouble trying to connect with him right now, but I finally think he's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week on Celebrity Jobber, Rick Springfield. Are we on?
Hello.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah, we are.
How's it going?
How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good. We had fun with that answering service lady. She was hilarious.
Where was she from?
I think the 1950s.
Right on, man. You staying busy these days?
Yeah, we definitely. We have a tour and a new album, and it's looking really fun this summer for sure.
Do you tour a lot still these days, Rick, or do you kind of pick your, because I know that can kind of be a long, grueling process touring. I mean, you know more about that than anybody.
Yeah, it's, I love to play live. That's really my draw. But sometimes the traveling can be a bit of a drag. But I'm fortunate to be able to go out and play. I'm very thankful for that.
So tell me a little bit about how this all started, because you're talking to a guy who loved that movie Hard to Hold. I remember when the VHS guy used to come around in a van, and that was like one of the first movies that I got. It was Hard to Hold, man, and I watched that over and over. I wanted to be a rock star just like you. And but it didn't start out that way. Was music your first?
Bless you for that.
Was music your first love, or no? Was that kind of an accident?
No, music was definitely my first love. I fell in love with the guitar when I was about 11 years old. I was living in England, and they had a school show, and there was a kid with a beautiful guitar there, a Hofner, and I walked across the room like in a dream and asked him if I could hold it, and he said sure, and it was love at first sight. I've been a guitar freak ever since.
So then was acting in movies kind of an accident, or how did that all come into play?
I started acting in '75 because I was innocent enough to think I could support myself as an actor while I waited for a recording deal, which is pretty silly, but I actually did support myself a while. I just started going to acting class because my brother had been an actor in Australia, and I'd always been in the back of my mind, but I started going to classes and got some degree of ability, under my belt and knowledge, and then I just started working as an actor, and it kept me going, it kept my emotions in the right spot so that when the time came for music to hit, I was ready for it. So
tell me about your time growing up in Australia. How long did you spend there, and what was life like there for you?
It was amazing. My dad was in the Australian Army, so we moved around every couple of years, which was a real drag, but it got me into a love of traveling. And when I was 10 years old, we moved to England, and we lived there for a few years, and that's when I discovered guitars and girls, and that was very, 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 very powerful stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Then moved back to Australia when I was 13, and went to Vietnam when I was 17, and then came to America when I was 21.
Wow. So, man, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So, were you thinking of, you're in Vietnam, and obviously your mind is somewhere else for sure. So are you thinking of like a backup plan when you get back home? These things are kind of pie in the sky dreams for a lot of people. Acting, show business, rock and roll. Were you thinking like maybe college, I'll go major in this and this will be my backup?
No, I never actually had a plan B. I actually was asked to leave high school in 11th grade because of my behavior. So I didn't even finish high school, so I couldn't have gone to college. But I'd always music was everything to me, and that's all I wanted. And so with no plan B, I didn't really have a choice not to have some kind of success,
Right.
It was either that or death.
Right. What was your first job, your first paying job?
The only paying job I ever had outside music was work when I was 15. I worked in a plant nursery for about 6 months after school, and it was horrible. I didn't get paid much, and the guy's wife was always hitting on me, and it was just a very embarrassing situation.
I got to tell you a quick story. I was working at a radio station in Fort Myers, Florida years ago, and there was a plant nursery right in front of the studio, and there was an older model 80s, just kind of generic looking car, Ford, Chevy, whatever it was. And on that car was every lyric to Jesse's Girl. And you couldn't stop looking at it because it was, and I don't know if you ever ran into this person while touring at all, but it was in Fort Myers, Florida. And it was quite a distraction when you saw this woman driving down the road.
That's pretty funny. I've never heard that before.
Oh, yes. It's I don't know where she's at anymore, but she worked at a nursery. I just thought that was kind of coincidental.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Tell me about the tour this summer with Tommy Tutone and Paul Young.
Yeah, we have the Hooters, who haven't toured America for a long time. They're amazing. We have Paul Young from England. We've got Tommy Tutone. We have on a couple of the shows, we have the Tubes and John Waite, who I love.
Wow.
So it's going to be pretty amazing and great artists and a lot of fun.
So I don't know about you, but my streaming subscriptions are officially out of control. If there's one show that I want to watch on one platform, I subscribe. Free trial, I subscribe. Over time, I'm losing track of what I'm subscribed to, and things are getting out of control. So let me tell you about Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions and monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills all in one place. You can easily cancel the stuff you don't want with just the press of a button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all the work for you. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved an average of $720 a year. Stop wasting your money on things you don't use. Cancel those unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/jobber. That's rocketmoney.com/jobber. rocketmoney.com/JOBBER. Tell me a little bit about outside of show business. You do have a couple, I guess a lot of businesses that you're involved with today with some other people that we might know.
Well, I think you're referring to Beach Bar Rum, that company I have with Sammy Hagar, that is amazing. And yeah, we've had a lot of fun with that. That's done some shows together, promoting it, and it's just a natural kind of organic promotion, really. Music and alcohol are pretty synonymous, and Sammy's been very successful at it before with Cabo Wabo. So it was it just seemed like a great hookup, and I've known him since I've done everything for you. So it's been a lot of fun so far. We actually did something here downtown LA promoting it last night with. Plus my new album and the tour and Beach Bar Rum, we put them all together in a little promotion downtown.
So you just celebrated the 40th year of Working Class Dog, but you have a new album out this year as well?
Yeah, the new album comes out on August 4th. It's called Automatic, and it's got 20 new songs on it, and we'll be doing some of those in the show, but also a lot of the old stuff, of course. I can't leave the stage without playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of these bands that they don't want to play the big hit from way back when for whatever reason. I could never really understand that, but you're playing Jesse's Girl and I've Done Everything for You and Don't Talk to Strangers because that's what the people want to hear. Could you ever figure that out, why people didn't want to do that stuff?
I think, it's just a personal choice. I mean, every artist has a right to play whatever they want to play. I know Elvis Costello's out there now, and he's not playing a lot of the hits that people want to hear, but that's his choice. It's his show, and I love to give the audience what they want. I'm one of those guys, and I love to enjoy it, and I love to see. I don't want to see them sitting there looking at me with a quizzical look on their face. I want to see them jumping up and down and singing along. That's what the party's all about for me.
That's it, man.
Play new stuff because it gives us an extra kick. But for me, it's the joy of playing and seeing the joy that it gives the audience that drives me.
Any crazy women still come out to these shows and still throwing underpants at you and all that?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Well, look, it's great talking to you. RickSpringfield.com. You can check out everything that's going on with Rick with the summer tour and the new album. Great talking to you, man. Great story and continued success, my friend.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, Jeff.
I mean, go ahead and Google Rick Springfield right now and see what this guy looks like. He's 74 years old. I mean, he still looks good. He still gets ladies throwing underwear at him when he's touring, which is a pretty remarkable story because I didn't know anything about Vietnam. I knew that Rick Springfield, grew up in Australia. I knew about the acting background. I didn't know that acting was just like this thing that he was doing while he was waiting for his big break, which was getting a record deal. And that was all he ever really wanted to do. He didn't care about being on General Hospital. He was just kind of doing that to earn a living. And it seemed like, he acted for a long time, did some stuff in Australia and got that record deal. And the album Working Class Dog came out. Well, that was when Rick Springfield became a household name overnight. Song Jesse's Girl went to #1 in August of 1981. And as they say, the rest is history. I thought it was pretty funny that Rick Springfield's very first job was at a nursery. And I had that story where I worked at a radio station in back of a nursery where this woman worked and had this late model Ford or whatever, and it had the lyrics to Jesse's Girl all over the car. It was quite a distraction, but knowing that he worked in a nursery for his first job and that this woman that worked at the nursery with the Rick Springfield Jesse's Girl car, I mean, I thought it was kind of a coincidence, don't you think? And he's got some other business endeavors, especially the one with Sammy Hagar selling that beach bum rum. I spoke to Sammy Hagar a little bit ago. He said he just plays music for fun. He makes more money on his alcohol stuff than he ever made in rock and roll, if you could believe that. Well, listen, thanks for listening. If you like the podcast, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. We'd appreciate it. Leave a review. All of our past episodes are up on CelebrityJobber.com. Follow us on IG, the Celebrity Jobber Podcast. Coming up on 1 year old, our 1 year anniversary, just a few weeks away. It's incredible. Thanks for all your support. I'll see you next week with another episode of Celebrity Jobber. Thanks again for listening. I'm Jeff Zito.